And this all hinges on a completely outlandish belief that you can identify as whatever you want. Well, not whatever you want. You can't change your race, your age, your height. You can't change any of those things. You can only change the one thing that will turn you into a lifelong pharmaceutical addict, the one thing that allows humans to exist, the foundation of human life, the one thing that will properly convey the message that you can be convinced of literally anything. What is up? My name is Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back. This, of course, is the epicenter for all of your current and captivating coastal elite chaos, so please hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, leave a comment or two, share this with a friend. Let's go. So I want to highlight this video from the Human Rights Campaign, or HRC. They've brought out this guy, this carbon-based life form, to go to bat for the organization. He jumbles up all the buzzwords to let you know how super serial he is. And this is essentially a Fox News hit piece, which is fine, fair enough. I don't think anybody really likes Fox News. But on the other end of that, he's also trying to give you direct instructions on how you can talk about a certain community. And it's just so predictable, and it's painful to watch these people squirm. Oh, listen to us, speak how we speak, you gotta be one of us. And I mean, who is this winning over? It's gotta be geared towards younger people, because there's nobody, I hope, I pray, that there's nobody north of 25 years old who can see this and say, well, I'm sold now, right? They already would have had to have been subjected to a bare minimum of 2 decades of brainwashing, which I guess is easy for me to discuss as I sit here preaching to the choir, always hoping for some mean comments, because that at least means that somebody inside the bubble is watching this. And he says, oh, our community, oh, it's life and death, blah, blah, blah. Give it a rest, dude. And he even drops the true identifier of political word salad, which is, now let's be clear. When somebody says, now let's be clear, made very famous by Kamala Harris. But when somebody says, now let's be clear, that means they are about to jump through hoops. They are about to do some mental gymnastics. They're about to twist themselves into a pretzel in hopes of convincing you of whatever insane point they're trying to make. So let's listen to him.
In a segment last night, Fox News weaponized our epidemic of violence report to double down on harmful, transphobic rhetoric and to grossly dehumanize the LGBTQ plus community.
Oh, grossly dehumanized. These are the same people that run around saying things like cisgender, cis man, cis woman, as though that's not dehumanizing. Chest feeder, birthing person, none of that's dehumanizing. We all know this only works in one direction.
The fact is, Fox News does not care about the safety of our community. Now, let's be clear. The point of this report was to connect with LGBTQ plus advocates who are on the ground telling the story of those who have lost their lives and how they lost them. And we do it without editorialization.
False.
We also do it to help close the gap between reporting and misreporting. False. Violence against the transgender and non-binary community by both law enforcement and the media. If you are a reporter who is interested in covering the epidemic of violence report or the transgender community, it is important to get the facts right. And to get those facts, head to hrc.im/covering trans people for more information.
Absolute insanity. So yes, on one hand, he is smearing Fox News predictable. On the other hand, he is telling you that if you even think about wanting to report on something in the LGBTQ plus community, then you need to take a look at how we say you should talk. He claims they report stories without editorializing, which is provably untrue. You don't even have to be in opposition to what he's saying to realize that's insane. And then he has his smug face. That's always half their argument, is to just drop this smug face and notice all the degrees on the wall. He's so much more smarter because he's got the degrees. The people with no certificates don't have any place to talk about this.
My client Frank here has a state-issued certificate clearing him of having said donkey brains, then I ask you this. Do you have any such certificate? What? Well, we don't want a donkey on the road eating cereal. We know Frank's not a donkey. How do we know you're not a donkey brain man?
Why would I have a certificate?
You don't have a certificate?
No. The burden of proof is not on me.
The defendant will answer the question.
The defendant? I'm not the defendant.
Just answer the question. No. No further questions.
And this little reel here is meant to drive people to their website to learn their lingo, the proper dystopian Democrat doublespeak that you have to use before reporting on them. And he's mad about a Jesse Waters report where he covered some radical gender militant in Atlanta.
Who are these 26 transgender individuals who were killed? Well, Primetime found a familiar face. His name is Little Turtle, Tortuguita. You remember Tortuguita, also known as Manuel Paez Terán? He was Antifa, a 26-year-old indigenous queer, non-binary militant who lived in the forest. He was a part of Atlanta's Forest Defenders, a group of angry Keebler elves living in treehouses in the woods over the past 2 years. Remember after George Floyd, the Democrats said police needed to be better trained? Well, the police were building a new training facility in Georgia. But Little Turtle didn't want police to be better trained. He didn't want police at all. All the Little Turtle wanted was a forest where police wouldn't be allowed to enter. And for the last few years, Antifa has been battling Georgia police officers and raising all sorts of bloody hell. They've thrown Molotov cocktails at police, launched rocks and bottles at cop cars, shot fireworks at them. In January, when cops were clearing out the forest, Tortuguita refused to leave. He remained in his tent, defiant. Georgia state troopers say after he didn't comply with their demands, they used pepper spray. But Tortuguita responded by firing 4 shots at him from a pistol, leaving a Georgia state trooper seriously injured. Officers were forced to return fire, and unfortunately, Tortuguita was pronounced dead.
And it's definitely not creepy at all that they have the same exact initials as Hillary Rodham Clinton. But besides that, I have always sort of believed that the Human Rights Campaign is one of the primary driving forces behind much of the insanity that has been foisted upon us in the last decade or so. There's also the Council on Foreign Relations, of course, the Open Society Foundations, and this organization here, the Human Rights Campaign. There's a couple others for sure. But this guy, at the end of his little Fox News hit piece smear, the point he's trying to drive home is that you need to go to this website to learn what you can and cannot say. And this all hinges on a completely outlandish belief that you can identify as whatever you want. Well, not whatever you want. You can't change your race, your age, your height. You can't change any of those things. You can only change the one thing that will turn you into a lifelong pharmaceutical addict, the one thing that allows humans to exist, the foundation of human life, the one thing that will properly convey the message that you can be convinced of literally anything. HRC's brief guide to getting transgender coverage right. So no matter what the story is, if you don't use these words, if you don't use this language, then your reporting could be considered incorrect, at least by this particular organization. They've got 8 points. Number 1, understand what transgender means, and then a bunch of nonsense. Number 2, know the difference between gender identity, gender expression, and sexual orientation. Number 3, understand what transition means. Number 4, know that the process of transitioning isn't always or just about surgery. Number 5, respect transgender people by using the names and pronouns they use in daily life. Number 6, be aware of the reality of many transgender people in the United States and how that can inform the context of your story. What does this even mean? Number 7, refrain from contrasting trans men and women with, quote, real or biological. Oh, okay. So just throw out all of reality. They literally put the word real in quotes. They put the word biological in quotes because they want you to know that they are the curators of reality now. They are the curators of biological truths now. Number 8, Focus on the whole person. So no matter how much they throw this stuff in your face, no matter how many parades and days and holidays they come up with, oh, don't. That's just a small part of his personality. We've thrown it in your face. We've foisted this on you. We have tried to control the language at every possible turn. But don't worry. There's more to him than that. It's all through the roof. Some information about the organization as a whole. The HRC Foundation is a tax-exempt 501c3 organization, envisions a world where all LGBTQ plus people can participate fully in the systems that shape our daily lives. What was it that they were not able to participate in? Are we talking about marriage? Is that still the thing that we're talking about? Right? I mean, you guys wanted to get married. Obama let you get married. Was it Obama? I don't know. Maybe it was. I don't even know. It doesn't even matter. I guess that's what this entire thing hinges on, is the idea that they wanted to get married. And we know how that slippery slope ended. Or, I mean, I guess we're still sliding down it. Who knows? Through public education, research, and policy and practice change, the foundation's impact can be felt in schools, not good, factory floors, corporate suites, and in places of worship. So they, right up front and center, tell you we're trying to change schools, corporate settings, and churches. It's ridiculous, but you kind of have to respect it because they are getting the job done. Now, people are pushing back as I sit here doing just that, but they are grinding, bro. Created in 1984, of all the possible years for this institution to have been birthed, 1984 makes perfect sense.